What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome back to the channel where it's all about our Buffalo Bills. If you love breaking news, deep analysis, and the kind of storytelling that only true fans can appreciate, then you're in the right place. Now, before we jump into today's exclusive report, do us a quick favor, smash that like button, and hit that subscribe so you don't miss any updates. This team is on a mission to evolve, to improve, and to deliver results that'll finally bring that Lombardi trophy home to Buffalo. Let's grow this channel just like the Bills are growing this roster. All right, let's get into it. There's been a lot of smoke lately, Bills fans, and where there's smoke in the NFL, you know there's usually fire. On Monday, the Miami Dolphins made a jaw-dropping announcement. They're mutually parting ways with cornerback Jaylen Ramsey, and yes, they're fielding trade calls. That's right, a 7-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro, a Super Bowl champion, and now a potential target for our Buffalo Bills. And here's where it gets even spicier. ESPN NFL analyst Ryan Clark went on NFL Live and flat out pounded the table for Buffalo to make the call. Not just because Ramsey's available, but because he thinks Ramsey's the perfect fit for Sean McDermott's defense. Let me break this down for you. Ryan Clark, former NFL safety and a Super Bowl winner himself, isn't just throwing out names. He knows defense. And he said, and I quote, "They have Taron Johnson at the nickel, which is another position that Jaylen Ramsey can play. But you don't need him there. I look at his versatility, his length, his ability to play in all the positions in the secondary. I believe he's a plug-and-play starter at so many spots for the Buffalo Bills." That's coming from someone who played the game at a high level. Now, think back to the AFC Championship. What happened? We didn't lose because of Josh Allen. The offense wasn't the issue. It was the defense that let Mahomes drop 32 points on us. The only time all season the Chiefs cracked 30. That cannot happen again. And that's where a guy like Ramsey comes in. Look, he's not 26 anymore, and we know he's had some injuries, but the man can still ball. In 2024, according to Pro Football Focus, overall grade 76.9, run defense grade 85.7, pass rush grade 76.5. That's elite versatility. He's not just locking guys up in coverage, he's helping stop the run, getting after the quarterback. That's McDermott's dream. He's a defensive chess piece. Plug him in outside, slot deep safety, you name it. And the best part, his value is lower than ever, which means a trade wouldn't break the bank. Now here's the question everyone's asking. Is it realistic? Well, Ramsey does carry a pretty hefty contract. He's turning 31 this year, and Buffalo isn't exactly rolling in cap space. We've only got about $5 million to work with. So this would require some creativity from Brandon Beane. But let me remind you, when has Beane ever backed away from a bold move when it made the team better? He pulled the trigger on Stephon Diggs. He moved heaven and earth to rebuild this roster. If Ramsey wants to win again, and if the Dolphins are serious about letting him go, don't be surprised if Buffalo's in that mix. And speaking of aggressive moves, let's talk offense. The latest buzz is that the Bills might be trying to move up in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. And the target? Ohio State's Emeka Egbuka. Yeah, you heard that right. Bryce Lazenby of the Sporting News dropped a mock that had Buffalo trading with the Vikings to move up and grab Egbuka at number 24 overall. Now, why does that matter? Because Egbuka isn't just a guy. He's a top 5 wide receiver in this draft class. He's posted 2 1,000-yard seasons, has elite running skills, and might have the best hands in the draft. Buffalo's wide receiver room right now. We've got Joshua Palmer, Keon Coleman, and Khalil Shakir. Solid? Yes. But do we have that next-level playmaker? That Diggs replacement? That reliable, explosive, high IQ weapon that Josh Allen can trust on 3rd and long? Egbuka could be that guy. According to the draft value chart, to get up to number 24, Buffalo would likely need to give up a future 3rd-round pick. We don't have one this year, but we could absolutely package a future asset to make it happen. That's the cost of doing business. 111 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns. Position versatility, slot, wide, motion. He fits everywhere. He gives Josh Allen flexibility. And most importantly, he's affordable on a rookie deal for the next 4 to 5. Years. If the Bills want to keep building around Allen without breaking the bank, this is the move. You know, there's always that moment in every fan base when you realize your guy isn't just your guy anymore. He's the guy. And Bills fans, we had that moment years ago with Josh Allen. This is a quarterback who didn't just develop. He exploded into a force. A guy who plays with the fire of a linebacker, the cannon of a howitzer, and the guts of a prize fighter. Whether it's launching 60-yard darts across his body or running through defenders on 3rd and long, Allen has always been, well, built different. But that style of play, it comes with a price. We've watched Allen take hits that made us wince. We've watched him hurdle defenders and then hold our breath when he didn't pop up right away. And we've seen the Bills slowly and carefully coach him into balancing that wildness with wisdom, knowing when to go full beast mode and when to slide, step out of bounds, or live to fight another down. It's that tightrope walk, that development that made Allen into an MVP, and now the rest of the league is taking notes. Here's where it gets spicy, folks. The Washington Commanders, a team that's desperately trying to find their next franchise cornerstone, just may have found their guy in Jayden Daniels after a breakout rookie campaign. Daniels is now the hottest young QB in the NFC, not named Jalen Hurts. And guess what they're doing? They're studying the Josh Allen playbook, not just the physical stuff, the footwork, the arm strength, the mobility. Nope. They're looking at how the Bills developed Allen. How we taught him to be smart with his body. How we worked with him to become a true franchise QB, not just a human highlight reel. And now, the Commanders are straight up stealing that roadmap. Let me read you what Brandon Beane himself said, because it's as real as it gets. We had to have a lot of those conversations with Josh, and sometimes still do. He can be a knucklehead sometimes. It's just showing him on film, hey, you had an opportunity to get out of bounds. You had an opportunity to get down. That's our GM, folks. Pulling back the curtain, explaining the kind of mental reps that go into managing a QB like Allen. Now, Washington's front office is using that same philosophy with Daniels. They want to protect him, teach him to balance risk and reward, and stretch out that career timeline. Sound familiar? Yeah. It's the Buffalo blueprint, and it's being copied. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, is that really being robbed? Okay, maybe not in the traditional sense. The Commanders aren't breaking into one Bills drive and stealing playbooks. But here's the kicker. When an NFL franchise spends years developing a quarterback, we're talking game film, high-level coaching, brutal trial and error, and a fan base that supports their QB through thick and thin. You can't just slap that into a formula and expect instant success elsewhere. And yet, that's what Washington's trying to do. Jayden Daniels is a freak athlete, no doubt. But does he have the mindset, the locker room culture, the city behind him, the way Josh does in Buffalo? That's a whole different ballgame. So yeah, it kind of does feel like a robbery when another team takes your hard-earned blueprint, throws it on their whiteboard and says, let's build our guy like that. But here's the thing, Bills Mafia. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Josh Allen set the bar so high. Now other teams are trying to recreate the mold. So let's zoom out for a second. You're telling me that Buffalo could land Jaylen Ramsey in a trade for next to nothing, move up in the draft to grab a future WR1, and build a defense that can go toe-to-toe with Mahomes in the playoffs? This isn't fantasy. This is on the table. And if Brandon Beane decides to get aggressive, Bills Mafia, we could be looking at a 2025 roster that's more complete than anything we've had in the Allen era. But now, I want to hear from you. Would you trade for Jaylen Ramsey? If the price is right, should we move up to grab and make a Ibuka in the draft? Or is there another move you think would push this team over the top? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. We read every single one. And if you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss a single second of Bills content. We're getting closer to the draft. We're getting closer to camp. And this team is not done. Building Bills Mafia. We're in this together. Until next time, go Bills.